It gives me great pleasure to introduce our honorary degree recipient, Sharmadean Reid, to whom we award an honorary fellowship. It was during her time at Central St. Martin's that Sharmadean Reid, MBE, established the foundation for all her creative businesses. Her publication, WA Magazine, which stands for We Ain't Hoes, a stand against the stereotypical passive nature of hip-hop fangirls, started as a passion project created after hours during her second year at university. It discussed issues concerning women and gender equality, which still sits at the heart of everything Sharmadean does. Harnessing the community that formed around the magazine, Sharmadean founded a nail salon with the same name after graduating from the Fashion Communication and Promotion course. To her, it was a natural continuation of the artistic path and the materialization of her female network building prowess. She ran the business for over a decade, and her entrepreneurship earned her an MBE for services to the nail and beauty industry. Further pushing the envelope of beauty, in 2020, Sharmadean founded her second business, beauty platform Beauty Stack, which married her passion for aesthetics with frontier tech such as VR technology. In 2021, she founded her most recent venture, a new media platform, the Stack World. Within 1 year, the platform was selected as one of the 7 companies to participate in the Goldman Sachs inaugural UK Black Tech cohort of Launch with GS with a fund of $1 billion. Sharmadean tells me she is the first Black woman in the UK to apply for venture capital and has gained £6 million. A huge round of applause. At the heart of Sharmadean's work is her dedication to closing the gender leadership gap and elevating her global community of over 20,000 mission-driven women. She has just launched her first book, New Methods for Women, published by Penguin Random House. Sharmadean's phenomenal success boils down to that same sense of community she fostered during her time at UAL. She advises students to cherish academia and considers it an ideal environment for collaborating and building things in a team together. She states that when you're at university, everybody's equal, so everyone's ideas are valid. I am delighted to ask the Chair of Governors to confer the Honorary Fellowship of the University of the Arts on Sharmadean Reid.
Thank you all so much for having me. Thank you to Central St. Martin's and all the governors and the deans for bestowing me with this great honour. I recently turned 40 a few months ago, and 40 is very much a time for reflection. If you allow a few words from an old woman, words of wisdom. When I was reflecting a lot on exactly the position that you are in now. I was thinking a lot about what I loved as a child. I was thinking about what retained my creative spirit. And when I was at Central St. Martin's, and they don't pay me to say this, but I had the most freedom, the most play, the most fun, the most experimentation, and also the most amount of raving and hanging out with my friends. Now that you're about to graduate, it can be, people have said daunting and scary, but actually it can just be very, very lonely. You suddenly are thrown out of this institution into the world of work, and the things that held me in good stead, there's 2 things I want to tell you. Well, 2.5. Firstly, because you're from Central St. Martin's, everyone knows that you're sicker than the average. That's number 1. But the things that held me in good stead are maintaining that sense of community. Community is a word that is so overused, but it is everyone who's in your peer group, who's in your raving crew, who's in your study group right now. You are going to grow with them for the next 20 years so that when you're my age, you're still hanging out with those people. So retain that sense of community. The second thing I would say is that as, these amazing accolades that were listed and what you can see on the screen, I did pursue an entrepreneurial and very commercial path. Every single time I started a business, I really tried to imbue it with that sense of creativity, as you can see. This was the first project I ever did at Central St Martin's, actually, and it was the first thing I ever did on my own back. It wasn't actually a school project. Every single day after school for 2 months, I sat on my little Mac Mini and made a magazine. It was the purest essence of who I am, and that has led to every business I've ever done. So what I want to say is, even though right now people are freaking out, it's a cost of living crisis, the government, who knows what's going on with that, everyone is in a stressful way, just do not lose that sense of creativity and play, because 20 years after I graduated, now being 40, I was like, I've got to make a change. I've got to do the things that we did when we were kids. I've got to play, I've got to have fun, I've got to go back to a university spirit, and I actually have done so. In the last few months, I've changed my life completely. I have left London, moved to the countryside. I am now experimenting and writing and filming and doing all of the things that I used to do at Central St Martin's, and I am loving every minute of it. So don't wait until you're older to have this big realization that actually what you're doing now is the purest version of yourself, and you need to maintain that and keep it. From this day forward, don't be obsessively thinking about how am I going to make money, how am I going to survive, because that mentality will lead you nowhere. The mentality that is going to lead you is have an abundant mindset, know that ideas and creativity come from within and you can always generate more. And if you need to start an artist commune out in the countryside, go do that. Do the thing that makes you happy, that lifts your spirit, and that gives you fun. Thank you all so much.